Hi everybody, Ricky here. Today I'm going to make some steak fajita tacos, not the traditional kind. The traditional kind are the ones you usually use skirt steak to make. What I'm going to do is take some stir-fried beef that I bought at the store and it's thinly sliced, so I'm going to cut that up into little pieces and make steak fajita tacos with that. I think it tastes personally better that way and it doesn't get stuck in your teeth like the skirt steak does, so don't have to go reaching for all those toothpicks and all that stuff. So yeah, let's go take a look at the ingredients. Here I have some cilantro that I already picked the stems out of. I just gotta chop it up and then it'll be ready to go, and the fresher the better, right? And then over here I have some Rama tomatoes. I like going with the Rama tomatoes because they're smaller and they stay good longer. I always like the firmer ones because they have more bite to them than the soggier ones. Though the soggier ones are more sugary, but they have to be eaten sooner or they'll get rotten real fast. And then I have a couple of Hass avocados there, a lemon to mix with the Hass avocado. I got a yellow onion that I peeled. I just need to chop the ends of it off and chop it up. And then over here I got some mild cheddar and some light sour cream, some nacho sliced jalapenos, and some pre-sliced olives in a can. I decided to be lazy today. Instead of, chopping up some regular unpitted olives that I usually get. Usually save about 25-30 cents if you get the ones that you slice on your own. And then up here on the microwave, I put the stir-fry beef. This is what I buy from the store, and it's already sliced really thin like bacon. So it's really easy to chop up into little pieces and make into some steak fajita tacos. But I recommend this over the skirt steak because, like I said, to me it's just tastier than the skirt steak. But opinions are gonna vary. So let's get cooking. Now I'm going to chop up the cilantro. Fresh cilantro is so good compared to like freeze-dried cilantro, and it doesn't cost very much either, so it's no wonder it sells out and it's the most used stuff. Plus it goes good with salsa and crisp chips and a variety of food. You can put it on almost anything, so definitely all for the cilantro. Since I picked the stems out of it, like I said earlier, it makes it so much easier to just chop it up and have it ready to go. Because, who wants stems in their teeth? I know I don't. So, now that this is getting chopped up, more of the ingredients and get them prepped. Next I'm going to slice the ends off the onion. Toss these in the trash. And start cutting it up in slices. You can get some pre-frozen stuff, which I do have some in the freezer, but So you always know, fresher is better. Tastes like a billion times better. Put that piece away. And we're still getting it. That piece decided to fall out. Be kind of careful here since this is falling apart here. Kind of makes for more entertainment though, doesn't it? And then we'll, there goes that. Then we'll cut it up like in little pieces. Of course, you can keep it in rings if you like it in rings too. There's no wrong way to do it. I tend to dice it up kind of more like a salsa type when I mix it in with the bell peppers we're gonna cook as well. Which, now that I think about it, I forgot to add that on there when I was showing the ingredients earlier. So I'll be showing that in a minute when I cut those up. And I bought a red bell pepper and a green bell pepper. You can add all of the medley of them if you want. There's no wrong way to do it, obviously, but I like the red and the green. They're all good though, and they all taste good. So let's move on to the next item. Here I have a red and a green bell pepper. So I'm gonna slice the top off there. Then kind of slice around in there. Want to be careful as always. Got most of it out. There's a little bit of seeds in there, but I can just kind of pick that out of there. And then the red bell pepper. Pretty effective about getting the majority of the seeds out of there. Usually the rest of them will fall right out, and if they don't, then you can always just wash them out. Then, like the tomato, it yields more pepper. And depending on your preference, you can leave them as big slithers, or you can cut them up in little pieces. I kind of like chopping them down into little pieces because it makes it easier to eat and digest in as a burrito or taco. Because that's the great thing. Both are universal that you can make, you know, a burrito or a taco. So I'm gonna finish up on this here, and we'll get to the next one. Here I have the Rama tomato. I already diced one up into little pieces. What I usually do is I take the knife and cut open the core right here and pick it out. That way I can throw that away and I can keep the tops to the tomato, so I get yields more tomato, which gives you more to eat. And even if you make too much tomato or too much onions, you can always bag it up or make salsa with it, which you can never have too much salsa with crisp. So that's how that's going with this. And I just cut it up in those slices. These do keep a lot longer though, these ramas, and they're a lot easier to grow and they grow faster too. You can even grow them in little planters and put them hanging down from your porch with some potting soil and tomato fertilizer and stuff, and just grow them right on your porch. You don't even have to have a garden. That's what makes tomatoes great. They grow really fast. As long as you got some sunlight, good soil and nutrients. So now that got a couple of those cut up, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the next item to get prepped. Next, I'm going to open up these Hass avocados. I already picked the little piece out right there. I usually just take the knife, cut down the middle real gently. You want to make sure you don't cut yourself. Then just kind of twist it open. Always look if there's any little rotten spots, which that's a little bit bad there, but not very much as bad with that one. You definitely don't want to cut them before they're not ripe yet, or they'll kind of taste leathery. So you definitely want to make some that when you fill the avocado, it has a, like it caves in a little bit. Some will stab a knife into there and do that. That's the wrong thing to do, because actually somebody's done that before where they did that and they stabbed it in their hand, which wasn't me. But what I do is I just go here with the knife and kind of pick it out real gently. If it won't come out, what you can do is go around it and kind of just gently go around the seed right there. But now that I got this one loose, I can just take the knife and this drops right in there into the trash. Let's see. So you don't have to do all fancy and show off. Some like to do it for, I guess, cooking shows. That does the job and guarantees that you're not going to accidentally stick your hands. So I think that's more important, safety. And I'll just peel that last little bad bit out of there. Toss that part into the trash. And get this other little bit out of there. Toss that in the trash. Then what I usually do next to make guacamole is gently take the knife and gently, just barely go down. You don't want to push too hard because you don't want to cut yourself. But if you do that and then cube it up, it'll make mashing it up so much faster and so much easier. So that's what I usually do. Saves on time and yields you a lot of really good guacamole. Now I can take out the guacamole out of there. So if you kind of even just squeeze it, it literally starts falling out. And you can use the fork to help it out a little bit there. It'll come just out like that. And makes it so much easier than having to fight to get the guacamole to come thing I learned myself to do. It's looking real good, isn't it? Okay. Now we need a lemon. Got a lemon washed off here. So I'm just gonna cut it up here by the top. Gotta always watch for the seeds, so you don't want to be eating seeds. And at the top, it's always really easy to use that right off the bat. If you put that lemon on there, it'll help a lot make it softer too, so it'll make it easier to mash it up, turn it into guacamole. Looks so good, dude. See, as I'm squeezing it, I'm watching for seeds wanting to come out, and if I see any, I can use the fork or the knife to throw the seeds away in the trash. And if a seed does get in there, you can just use the fork and pick it out of there. This one's been a pretty good lemon though. Haven't really had much seeds coming out of it. That's good. So I'll put that knife over there and start mashing it up. Which some like to just eat it as slices or big pieces of avocado with their tacos. Others like it guacamole. So really it's just a preference on what you want to do. You just want to keep mashing it up until it's just totally mashed. It just looks like a big blob like that. Once it's completely mashed up all the way through, that's when we can add some garlic powder to it. Which I don't have very much garlic powder left, but I have enough to make the meal here for the day. I'll have to get some more next time I go to the store. I always do keep some freeze-dried garlic because that goes good with anything. Even if you just let it soak in water, it rehydrates up and it's just good in a pinch. But you know, fresh garlic's always better and preferred. But you go to the store and they're out of garlic, and it's always good to have some freeze-dried garlic put up. So now that it's looking guacamole-like, got this garlic powder on there. It's all about preference. I like a generous amount. That's pretty much the rest of it anyways, which that's pretty much all I need for a couple avocados. And you can just kind of mix it around and fluff it up. Get it mixed all in there so you make sure it's kind of more even. That way, when you taste it, you're not just tasting garlic and only parts of it, but you're tasting it all the way through. And if you put plenty of lemon in your avocado and you fluff it real good, it'll keep a lot longer, and usually it'll last up to a day, especially if you refrigerate it. and cover it up with some saran wrap or something. That way when you want to treat, if you make too much avocado, you'll still have some tomorrow to go with your crisp chips. Now that's done, let's move on to the next item. Yeah. Dun dun dun! Some mild cheddar cheese. Gonna be fresh with this grater. Nothing beats a fresh brick of cheese being grated. That pre-grated stuff, it's store-bought, so it's all got that caking agent, and that's what, with all the preservatives on it, that's why it don't taste very good, because you're tasting all that caking agent instead of just getting the fullness taste of the cheese. So you're kind of missing the joy of getting some of the taste of the cheese out of it. Let's take a look at that. See the difference? Big difference. Don't get me wrong, I like that fast, ready to go cheese, but if you got the extra time to grade your own cheese, everybody will love you more for it. This little piece of clay. Gonna finish up with that, and then I'm gonna get started with slicing the meat up, and then we can get to cooking. Now the main ingredient, the stir fry, is ready to cut. All I gotta do is take it and kind of cube it up a little bit there. It has already been sliced up like paper thin though. Show you, it pretty much just tears apart like a piece of bacon. That's how you should cut a piece of beef, because when you cook it, it comes out so tender and makes the burrito or the taco a lot easier to eat, digest, and you won't like accidentally choke on the meat like you would if it was a skirt steak, because the skirt steak, the fat that is on it tends to be like a slinky and kind of gets stuck, can get lodged in the throat and all that, especially if you try to eat it too fast. Like somebody that hadn't eaten all day or something, they might try to eat really fast. So like I said, I tend to like to go with stir fry beef, sliced bacon thin, and then cutting it up also in little cube pieces. So you'll see now it's more of a little slices. And I'll just do that for all the meat. If they don't have it sliced like this thin at the store and you can't find any, you can usually go ask the butcher at the deli, and they'll usually be happy to slice it up thin for you and stuff. Just tell them you want it like sliced razor thin or like bacon, and if they do that, then you'll get the same effect too. It's just like this, already bought pre-packaged, but if it's already pre-packaged, I figure why not just get it that way. But if I need to ask the butcher, usually I will. Sometimes you might get a big piece of fat in there, like for example this, so I'll just cut at an angle around it and take that out of there, and then I'll just throw that in the trash. Of course, if you like a lot of fat in your meat, I mean, you can leave it in there. But I kind of like more of the protein aspect of the beef than the big chunks of fat. So I'm gonna finish this up and then we'll get started cooking. Now I'm gonna add some extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil to the pan. Just a little bit there. And start the stove up. It always makes funny noise there sometimes. It's just the burner when it's on low or at a certain thing there, but it doesn't really affect anything. If you're ever wondering, that's what that noise is in the videos. And I'll just kind of scoop the meat in there. Get it going, and then I'll get another pan and get the vegetables going on the other burner. Now that the meat has started going on that side, I'm going to come over here to this side and add a little bit of oil over here. Same avocado, virgin olive oil. Vegetables in there. So we got the bell pepper, green and red. Whatever I have left over, if it doesn't fit, I can always save it for later. Or cook another batch. You can hear the meat though. It's getting going. And I'm going to use a plastic fork instead of a metal fork because I don't want to scratch up the cookware. You still got to be careful not to burn it into your food, but that's what I usually do. You can use a spatula too, which I'll probably do with that over there. Take this plate off. Get us a spatula. Get in here and start stirring it around. I always use the virgin olive oil, avocado oil, because they're both healthy oils. You pay a little more if you get them mixed together. It's usually cheaper for the virgin olive oil, but I like to give it that extra flavor, so I usually just splurge, spend a couple more dollars, and Get the good stuff. It usually lasts me a while anyways, like that bottle I have right there. So. And this cool thing is this stir fry too cooks really fast. I mean, like regular skirt steak, you'll be cooking for a while. I think skirt steak's more like, because like on the barbecue pit, I think that's kind of why it's favored, because the fattiness of it, helps when you throw it on that grill. But they do got like outdoor containers, cookware, where you can put it out there and cook your fajitas there if you desire to have that smoky, taste of the barbecue into the meat. And even if I want to cook the whole batch of the onions and the bell peppers, what I can do is after this cooks down a little bit, add a little bit more of the other bell pepper, and then go from there. As you can see now, the meat's getting cooked down pretty good. So what we want to do now is cook it down. When it gets cooked down, kind of flash fry it like you would stir fry. Add a little bit more water to it to hydrate it up, and then cook it down until it's tender. That way it'll keep it tender and it'll be ready to serve. But this is getting close to being ready, so just a little bit longer. Put a little bit of water in there and be ready to put the steak fajita tacos together and eat. I just turned the stove off and it's pretty much ready now. As you can see, meat's looking real good and tender, and it's ready for all the fixings now, so about to get it put together. Any tortillas work, but I thought I'd give these a go. I've never tried them before, since I'm gonna try one in front of y'all on camera. So these are cauliflower tortillas, so I figured they'd be good because, just like cauliflower pizza, if you like that, it's gonna be a lot of the same thing. Just you can make a taco or burrito out of it. Well, they're done now. So we got here some cilantro, guacamole, black olives, cheese, tomatoes, the stir fry in there, the cilantro. Could have added some lettuce to it, but it's already decked out looking at it, so I figured, nah, I don't need to add any lettuce. But it's always an option, and you can add whatever you want, like green chilies or anything. I didn't put that on these, but they do look really tasty, and the more work you put into it, the better it's gonna taste. So let's try it out. And with these cauliflower tortillas, it's really good. Really can't even tell the tortillas cauliflower that much to me. It tastes pretty good, but of course I like cauliflower pizza and stuff. Don't get me wrong, at a restaurant though, I mean, I'll eat any kind of taco. I'll eat one at the restaurant with just regular tortillas in there. It's so easy to chew and eat too. That's why I always pick the stir fry over the skirt steak. I can make traditional ones too though, but that's why I choose to make these, because as you can see how I'm chewing it, it's just real easy to chew it up and swallow compared, you know, at a skirt steak you'd probably be chewing for like 2-3 minutes just to even be able to swallow if you take a big bite. But I hope you try the recipe out and enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on some more in the future. Woo!